$1 billion. Every single day. That's what Russia is spending on this war. Not per week, not per month, per day. And the money is running out. Russia's 2025 defense budget is $145 billion. That's 6.3% of the entire economy, just for the military, just for 1 year. And it's not enough, because the war costs more than that, much more. Today we're breaking down exactly where Russia's money is going, how long they can keep this up, and what happens when the cash runs out. Before we start, hit that subscribe button. We're breaking down the numbers the mainstream media won't show you. Let's start with the math. Russia's total war spending is approximately $105 billion in the first half of 2025 alone. That's 6 months. Divide that by 180 days. You get $583 million per day. But that's just direct military costs. Add in economic losses from sanctions, destroyed infrastructure, lost trade. The real number is over $1 billion per day. Every day. For over 3 years. Where does the money go? Soldiers, weapons, ammunition, fuel, maintenance, medical care, pensions for dead soldiers' families, rebuilding destroyed equipment, smuggling sanctioned parts, bribing officials, propaganda. The list never ends. Let's break it down. Soldier salaries. Russia is paying combat troops up to 200,000 rubles per month. That's about $2,000. Sounds low, but in Russia, that's good money. Multiply that by hundreds of thousands of soldiers. That's billions per year just in salaries. Then there's equipment. A single tank costs between $2 and $4 million. Russia has lost over 3,000 tanks in this war. That's at least $6 billion in tanks alone. Gone, destroyed, burned, abandoned. Artillery shells. Russia is firing tens of thousands of shells every day. Each shell costs between $500 and $2,000 depending on the type. Let's say 30,000 shells per day at an average of $1,000 each. That's $30 million per day just in artillery ammunition. Over $10 billion per year. Just shells. Missiles are worse. A Kaliber cruise missile costs about $6.5 million. And Iskander ballistic missile costs around $3 million. Russia has fired thousands of these. Billions of dollars. Launched into buildings. Into power plants. Into empty fields. Gone. Then there's the stuff you don't see. Logistics. Moving supplies to the front costs money. Fuel, trucks, drivers, warehouses. Security. Russia's supply chain is massive and inefficient. It bleeds money every single day. Maintenance, tanks break down. Planes need repairs. Ships need fuel. Russia's equipment is old. Soviet era. It breaks constantly. Keeping it running costs a fortune. And Russia can't get Western parts anymore. So they're smuggling chips from washing machines, paying triple the price, just to keep weapons functional. Medical costs. Hundreds of thousands of Russian soldiers have been wounded. They need hospitals, surgeries, rehabilitation, prosthetics, long-term care. Russia doesn't publish the real numbers, but the cost is staggering. Death benefits. Russia pays families of dead soldiers. The official number is around 5 million rubles, about $50,000. Russia has lost over 150,000 soldiers. That's at least $7.5 billion just in death payments. And that's a conservative estimate. Now let's talk about where the money comes from. Russia's federal budget for 2025 is $401 billion. Defense spending is $145 billion. That's 36% of the entire budget, just for the military. The highest since the Soviet Union. But here's the problem. Russia's economy is shrinking. Growth dropped from 4% in 2024 to 1% in 2025. The World Bank downgraded Russia's forecast to 0.9%, almost zero growth. And it's getting worse. Oil revenues are falling. Sanctions are working. Russia is selling oil at massive discounts to China and India, sometimes 30 to 40% below market price, just to keep money flowing. But even that's not enough. Tax revenues are down, businesses are struggling, inflation is rising, the ruble is weak. Russia is running a massive deficit. They're spending way more than they're making, and they're filling the gap by burning through reserves. Russia's National Wealth Fund. This is the emergency savings, the rainy day fund. It's supposed to be not for crises. Well, this is a crisis, and Russia is draining it fast. In 2022, the fund had about $140 billion. By 2025, it's down to around $55 billion. That's $85 billion burned through in 3 years. At this rate, the fund will be empty by mid-2026, maybe sooner. What happens when the money runs out? Russia has options, none of them good. Option 1, print more money. Inflation explodes. The ruble collapses. People's savings become worthless. Economic chaos. This is what happened to the Soviet Union in the 1980s. It didn't end well. Option 2, raise taxes. Russia is already doing this. Corporate taxes are up. Small business taxes are up. But there's a limit. Raise taxes too much and businesses shut down. The economy shrinks even more. Less tax revenue, not more. Option 3, cut spending. But where? Cut soldier salaries and they desert. Cut ammunition and the army can't fight. Cut pensions and people riot. There's nowhere to cut without breaking something critical. Option 4, borrow money. But who's lending to Russia? China? Maybe. But China doesn't give free money. They'll demand massive concessions, discounts on oil, territory, influence. Russia becomes a Chinese client state. Putin knows this. He's avoiding it. For now. The reality is Russia can't sustain this. The math doesn't work. $1 billion per day, $365 billion per year. Russia's entire GDP is only 1.8 trillion. They're spending 20% of the entire economy on this war. That's insane. No country can do that long term. The Soviet Union tried. They spent themselves into collapse. Military spending hit 15 to 20% of GDP in the 1980s. The economy couldn't handle it. The system broke. The Soviet Union disappeared. Russia is repeating the same mistake. And they're running out of time. Here's the timeline. Russia has about 12 to 18 months of reserves left. After that, they're out of money. They'll have to choose. Print money and risk hyperinflation. Raise taxes and kill the economy. Cut military spending and lose the war. Or beg China for a bailout and lose sovereignty. None of these options end well for Putin, and he knows it. The war is costing Russia everything. $1 billion per day, and they can't stop. Because stopping means admitting defeat, and Putin can't do that. So he keeps spending, keeps burning through reserves, keeps pretending the economy can handle it, but it can't. The numbers don't lie. Russia's economy is breaking, and when it breaks, the war ends. Not because Ukraine won, but because Russia ran out of money. $1 billion per day. That's the cost of Putin's war, and Russia is paying it every single day until the money runs out. If you want to see more analysis on how Russia's economy is collapsing, subscribe to Warefare Watch. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and let's watch Russia's economy crumble together. See you in the next one.